The land here is ancient. It does not care for our modern clocks. In the Dordogne Valley of France, limestone cliffs rise like silent gods. They have watched millennia drift by. The river carves its path, slow and indifferent. It has seen mammoths and reindeer. It has seen hunters with stone-tipped spears. The wind blows through the oak and juniper trees. It seems to carry forgotten sounds, a whisper of a language we will never hear, a fragment of a song sung to a Paleolithic sky. This is a place where time itself feels thin. You can almost touch the past. It is not just rock and soil. It is a repository of memory, a library of ghosts. Here, nestled in the belly of a cliff, is a rock shelter. For countless generations, it was a home. Not a house as we know it, but a place of refuge. The stone overhang protected its inhabitants from the biting rain and the prowling wolf. The entrance is a dark mouth, breathing cool, damp air. You can feel the weight of ages pressing down. The walls are stained with the smoke of 100,000 fires. Each layer of soot is a story. Each fissure in the rock is a wrinkle on the face of deep history. Looking at it, one does not see just a cave. One sees a cathedral of survival, built by nature and inhabited by our distant kin. The Neanderthals who lived here are gone, vanished into the fog of prehistory, but they have left their shadows behind. You feel their presence in the profound silence. It is a silence that is not empty. It is filled with the echoes of their lives, the crunch of their feet on the gravel floor, the murmur of their voices around a crackling fire, the rhythmic chipping of flint as they crafted their tools. These are not just scientific subjects. They were people. They loved, they feared. They looked up at the same moon, the same spray of stars in the night sky, and they wondered. We are certain they wondered. To stand before this shelter is to confront an abyss, the abyss of time that separates us from them. We are Homo sapiens. They were Homo neanderthalensis, a different branch on the same human tree. For a time we shared this world. We looked into each other's eyes. What did we see? A rival? A stranger? A cousin? The landscape holds these questions. The stones do not offer easy answers. They only offer a stage upon which a great and mysterious drama of existence was played out. A drama whose final act we are only now beginning to uncover. If you want to journey deeper into the mysteries of our ancient past, subscribe to our channel. Join us as we uncover more secrets hidden in stone and shadow. For years, the rock shelter was known. It was mapped. It was studied. Scientists had scraped away layers of earth, finding bones and tools. They believed they understood the space, its dimensions, its limits. But the cave held a secret. It was waiting patiently. One wall at the very back of the main living area seemed unremarkable. It was a solid, uneven sheet of limestone. It appeared to be the end of the shelter, the final boundary of a world that had vanished 40,000 years ago. No one had a reason to look closer. The story, it seemed, was already written. But science is a restless endeavour. Dr. Aris Thorne, a geoarchaeologist with an obsessive eye for detail, was not satisfied. He was mapping the cave with new technology, ground-penetrating radar, lasers that measure the world in millions of precise points. The data showed an anomaly, a strange void behind the rock face, a hollowness that should not be there. It was a whisper from the machine, a digital ghost in the stone. Thorne felt a familiar thrill, the thrill of the unknown, the possibility that the map was wrong. that the story needed a new chapter. Tension filled the cool air of the shelter. The team gathered before the wall. It looked no different, solid, ancient, final. But now they saw it with new eyes. They saw the possibility of a hidden space, a place intentionally sealed. By whom and why? The questions hung in the silence, heavy and electric. They began with a small probe, drilling a tiny hole, no thicker than a pencil. A camera on a flexible stalk was prepared. It was a delicate operation, a surgical intrusion into the body of the past. The dust from the drill smelled of deep earth and forgotten time. The moment the drill broke through was not loud. It was a soft crunch, a release of pressure. The camera was pushed gently into the darkness. On a small monitor, a grainy black and white image flickered to life. It was not solid rock. It was space, an open chamber. The team held its breath. They were peering into a room that had been sealed for 40 millennia. A pocket of time, undisturbed by the modern world. The image was unclear, a dance of shadows and light. But it was enough. They had found it. A wall that was not a wall. A door that had been closed by Neanderthal hands. The decision was made to create a larger opening. It was done with immense care. Each piece of stone was removed as if it were a sacred relic. The process took days. The team worked in shifts, their headlamps cutting through the gloom. The air grew thick with anticipation. What would they find? What secrets had the Neanderthals chosen to hide? The opening grew slowly, painstakingly. It was large enough now for a person to squeeze through. Dr. Thorne was chosen to be the first. He was the one who had sensed the void. It was his discovery, his moment to face the unknown. As he pushed himself through the narrow passage, the world changed. The air was different. It was colder, denser, utterly still. It had the scent of dry dust, of minerals, and something else, something organic and ancient. It was the preserved breath of a lost world, a pocket of Paleolithic atmosphere trapped for an eternity. For a moment, he did not turn on his main light. He just stood there in the absolute blackness. He was breathing the same air the last person in this room had breathed. It was an act of profound, almost mystical connection. A communion across an impossible gulf of time. Then he switched on his lamp. The beam of light sliced through the darkness. It revealed a small circular chamber, perhaps 5 meters across. The walls were smooth, almost polished in places. The ceiling was low, creating a sense of intimacy, of enclosure. It was not a living space. It was something else, something deliberate. The light danced across the surfaces, revealing textures and shadows that had not been seen by human eyes since the ice sheets retreated. The silence was absolute. It was a tomb-like quiet, a silence that felt heavy, full of unspoken significance. His heart pounded in his chest. This was not just a geological feature. It was an act of construction, an intentional space. He was an intruder here, a visitor from a distant future, stepping into a secret held for over 400 centuries. Every particle of dust on the floor was a piece of the story. Every mark on the wall was a potential word in a lost language. The sense of awe was overwhelming. He was standing inside a Neanderthal thought, a thought made of rock and darkness and time. The rest of the world, with its noise and its haste, simply ceased to exist. Who were they, these people who sealed this room? We try to imagine them. We see them through the cold lens of archaeology. We measure their bones. We analyze the isotopes in their teeth. We classify their tools. But this room asks for more. It asks for empathy. It asks us to see them not as specimens, but as people. I see a family, a clan, huddled around a fire in the main shelter. The flames dance, casting long, flickering shadows on the stone walls. The world outside is cold and full of dangers. The cry of a cave lion echoes in the distance, but here there is warmth, there is community. I see a mother. She is nursing her child. Her brow is furrowed with a mixture of concern and love. Her hands are strong, calloused from a life of hard work. She looks at her child, and in her eyes is a hope that is universal. A hope for safety, for health, for a future. I see a hunter, his body scarred from a close encounter with a woolly rhinoceros. He is chipping away at a piece of flint, his focus absolute. The sharp flakes fall to the ground. He is not just making a tool, he is ensuring survival. He is providing for his family. His mind is sharp, his knowledge of the world profound. I see an old man. His hair is grey. His face is a map of a long and difficult life. He is the keeper of memories. He tells stories to the young ones, stories of the great hunt, stories of the spirits of the animals, stories of the ancestors. His voice is a low rumble, a sound that is both comforting and powerful. He is the link to the past, the guardian of their culture. In his gaze there is a deep wisdom, a wisdom born not from books, but from a lifetime of watching the seasons turn and the stars wheel across the sky. And I see them together, deciding to seal the chamber. What was the purpose? Was it a solemn act? A ritual? The firelight illuminates their faces. They are serious. They are focused. They are engaged in an act of great importance. They move stones one by one to close the opening. They are hiding something, or protecting something, or burying something. We see them not as brutish cavemen, but as complex beings. They are driven by beliefs, by emotions, by a sense of the sacred. They are phantoms in the firelight, and yet in this hidden room they feel intensely, undeniably real. What secrets does this silent chamber hold? We must speculate, but we must do so with respect. This is not a treasure hunt. It is a dialogue with the dead. The floor of the room is covered in a fine layer of undisturbed dust. Nothing has moved here for 40,000 years. In the center of the room, the archaeologist's lights reveal a deliberate arrangement, a collection of objects placed with clear intention. It is not a random scattering. It is a composition, a silent statement left for an audience that was never meant to come. Perhaps there are artifacts of a kind we have never seen before. Not just tools for survival, but objects of symbolic value. A collection of rare, colourful crystals. A carefully arranged set of eagle talons, perhaps from a ceremonial garment. A mammoth tusk engraved with geometric patterns that are not just decoration, but a form of notation. A language of lines and dots. These objects would speak to a rich inner world, a world of beauty, of ritual, of abstract thought. They would challenge our old simplistic ideas of the Neanderthal mind. And what of the walls? As the lights scan the surfaces, faint marks become visible. They are not the grand animal paintings of Chauvet or Lascaux. They are something different, more intimate. There are sets of red ochre dots arranged in a precise repeating pattern. There is a series of deeply incised lines forming a grid, and in one corner a single perfect handprint, a negative stencil made by blowing pigment over a hand pressed against the wall. It is a signature, a declaration. I was here, an individual reaching out from the deep past. This room could be a tomb, a burial site for a person of great importance, a leader, a shaman. The objects on the floor might be grave goods, offerings to accompany the soul on its journey into the unknown. Or perhaps it is not a tomb for a person, but a sanctuary, a sacred space sealed to protect its spiritual power from the outside world. A place where rituals were performed, where contact was made with the spirit world. The arrangement of objects could be a map of the cosmos. The handprint, a final blessing. The silence of the chamber holds all these possibilities. It is a question mark written in stone. This discovery is more than just another piece in the puzzle of human evolution. It is a mirror. It forces us to look at ourselves and our own origins. For so long, we have defined ourselves by what the Neanderthals were not. We were the thinkers, the artists, the survivors. They were the evolutionary dead end, the brutish cousins who failed. This room, this silent, deliberate, sacred space, shatters that arrogant narrative. It shows us a humanity that was different from our own, but no less profound. It reveals a capacity for symbolism, for ritual, for abstract thought. The implications ripple outwards, changing our understanding of the deep past. The history of the human mind is older and more complex than we ever imagined. The dawn of consciousness, of art, of religion did not begin with Homo sapiens. It has deeper, more tangled roots. We are not the sole proprietors of the human spirit. We are only one expression of it. This hidden chamber is a testament to another way of being human. A way of life that was successful for hundreds of thousands of years, far longer than our own civilizations have yet endured. We are a species with amnesia. We have forgotten our long childhood on this planet. Discoveries like this are flashes of memory. They allow us to glimpse the world through eyes that are not our own, to feel the cold of the Ice Age, to hear the silence of a world without machines, to stand in awe of the great herds and the vast dark sky. It connects us to the earth and to the immense, almost incomprehensible timescale of our own story. We are not separate from this past. It is inside us. It is in our DNA. It is in the ancient structures of our brains. As the scientists work, cataloguing every speck of dust, we are left with a feeling of profound wonder and a deep respect. Respect for these people who lived and died so long ago, who struggled and loved and dreamed in a world we can barely imagine. The earth still holds so many secrets. There are other chambers, other forgotten stories buried under the soil and locked within the stone. We have only just begun to listen. And in the silence of this Neanderthal sanctuary, we can hear the faint, persistent echo of our own shared humanity, calling to us across the abyss of time.